All right, now we're going live. That's a three. That's a two.
That's a meatball.
That's a uno. Hola, ¿cómo estás? I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. Blast off. Yes. Nothing like a little stress. Oh my, oh my. Hey, welcome to the Cosmic Cafe Show. Let me get those stupid glasses off. This is where the paranormal and the glasses are normal. Totally screwed up my trademark line. Where the paranormal is normal. This is our live daily specials videocast. Just barely making it a little bit past 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we're only just a couple of minutes. We're fashionably early, actually, based on Oscar time. Yeah, the Academy Awards Oscar. Well, anyways, never mind. No sense in dragging us into that swamp. All right, this being episode 83. Wow, Ocho Trace. Is that 83? I think so. Well, whatever. Anyways, doesn't matter. Today's date is once in every 4 years. I'm hearing the echo. I don't know if it's Jeff feeding back or what, but this is leap year, February 29th, so things are going to go a little cockeyed. But hey, why not? Because it's leap day today. Once every 4 years, we have a February 29th. So today we are taking the very unique opportunity to redo this show we tried to do last week with Jeff, and we had all kinds of audio problems in. I think it must be the NSA or the SPCA or one of those organizations that are trying to keep Jeff from getting his secret space program info out. I think that's what they're trying to do. And so last time we had all those audio problems. Today we've been fighting with audio troubles, but now look at about 30 minutes late, but we're getting in here. Hopefully we have Jeff A-OK. So over the next few minutes, we'll do our paranormal news, which we highlight the very best in space. UFOs, aliens, abductions, Bigfoot. Ooh, we got a really sexy Bigfoot tonight. Yes, indeed. Very sexy indeed. Ghosts and Hauntings. Faulty. Faulty. Very good, yes, very good, indeed. But before we get to the paranormal headlines and before we do all that stuff, let's jump over here to our waiting guest, Jeff Krause. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Eric, how's it going? Thanks for having me on again.
What's that?
Yeah, I hope you can hear me tonight.
I can't hear you. Hold on a second. Let me turn up my volume. There we go.
You're kidding, right?
No, I can hear you now. I turned down the volume because I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit of a feedback, but you know, whatever. I think we're good.
As long as we don't have to use the Campbell soup cans with the string again, I'm happy.
Campbell soup cans. That sounds like a good idea. Yes. Well, hey, look at that. I have up here. We're going to get to your secret space program, but I promised a really dear friend of mine who exactly 20 days ago, February 9th, I gave a shout out to. Hey, Michelle, I told you I would give you a little special mention. She is the owner of a super awesome woman-owned business here in the San Francisco East Bay area, Silicon Valley. She services great companies like Tesla. Yeah, maybe you've heard of Tesla. You know, Elon Musk's company, plus a bunch of other companies, all sizes, small, medium, and large. But she does very custom graphics and promotional items and all that. And the name of her company is Graphics Cat. And I believe you can go check out her website and all that good stuff. This is one screenshot from her website. So I just thought I would, I saw her tonight at one of my favorite watering holes and hadn't seen her for, gosh, I think, actually it might have been the first time this year I've seen her. So I told her, hey, did you see my shout out earlier this month? And she's like, I saw your tweets. So I said, well, you got to watch the video.
It was very sweet of you.
Anyways, I'm being very selfish right now talking about my good friend Michelle, the owner of Graphics Cat, and I believe that is graphicscat.com. Let me just double check. Yes, graphicscat.com. So that's just a shameless plug for a very dear friend of mine. And Jeff, do you ever need graphic services or anything like that with
No, actually, I do 3D graphics.
You're supposed to say yes.
And myself. So, yes, I do that quite frequently. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think you've used Graphics Cat before, right?
I pet a cat once.
Yeah, you had a cat. Well, there you go, folks. If you've had a cat, you have to use Graphics Cat. I mean,
obviously,
it doesn't get any better than that, right? Yeah, thanks for your overwhelming support there, Jeff. Okay, let's get on to your secret space program. Jeff's like, what the heck is going on? Eric didn't tell me anything about this. Hey, it's my show. I can do what I want. I do what I want. Was that Eric Cartman that says that on South Park? I do what I want.
Eric Cartman says a lot of things on South Park.
Well, this is true.
It's kind of like Donald Trump that way.
That's an entirely different genre.
Sweet.
So you got your secret space program. Why don't you give the folks a quick teaser, and then I'll get into the news and while you hang out for a couple of minutes. And what can they expect tonight for the secret space program?
Well, we're going to cover a lot of information tonight. Places that could possibly harbor the secret space program. Vehicles that might be involved in the secret space program, technologies that could be involved in the secret space program. I know we have some great video clips to show people and some pretty outstanding photographs, and there's a lot to talk about. I'm really hoping everyone hung in there and is made their way to the chat room tonight and has some outstanding questions for me. There's still time to get in there, folks, if you're watching, and think of your questions, and we'll have a chance to answer them tonight and to talk a little bit about things you may not have heard about in the last few years. So looking forward to spending some time talking about it, and it's going to be a really great show.
Awesome. Speaking of which, I'll keep my eye on the chat room as well. In fact, I know our friend Michelle, well, my friend Michelle, I don't know if she's your friend, but anyway, she was in the chat room a few minutes ago. Hopefully she'll get back there. And so if, maybe Michelle will ask you a couple of questions. But while we're giving people time to get over there, incidentally, just to make it super easy, go over to ccs.chat, and the video should be playing for you live in there, and so you can watch the show and chat both at the same time. So again, just put that into the little address bar on your browser, just ccs.chat. That's all you need to do. It's kind of like a .com or .net, but it's now one of those new premium level domains called .chat. So ccs.chat. So while they're doing that, Jeff, let me get over to the news. You can kind of hang out, watch the news while I do it. And
okay,
we'll start out the top story today. What we have is, before we get to the paranormal stuff, actually, this is more of a selfish story for me, because I've been following the super awesome astronaut Scott Kelly. He's the same guy who's wowed us with his year in space, #year in space. Daily photos. Every day he posted super awesome photos from the International Space Station. Well, I guess his time in space is drawing to a close, and today he officially turned over the keys to the car, so to speak, keys to the space station, over to a new commander, Tim Kopra. And so Tim will now be officially in charge of the International Space Station. And I think that also will come, bring it to mind and everything. That means that since he's in charge, when the aliens come knocking, he's the one that now has to serve the caviar and the saltine crackers and stuff like that when the guests come knocking. How exciting would that be to have some space guests drop by, say, "Please take us to your leader"?
That would be the coolest, I
think that would be the coolest.
Anytime
hopefully they don't say, "Please take us to your intelligent life form down on Earth," because they would probably look at each other and go, you're kind of luck.
Dolphins, we have orcas, we have elephants. There's plenty of intelligent life on Earth.
Actually, dolphins are pretty smart too. From what
They're
I
very
understand.
smart, and so are whales, so are elephants. It's just those
Actually, your
pesky
parrot
humans
Monty's
always
pretty
starting their
smart.
wars and destroying things that you have to watch. They're
And
the
your
only
parrot
life form on the
Monty,
planet.
he's pretty smart.
Pardon?
Monty, your parrot.
Monty is exceptionally smart. You're absolutely right.
I
As
know
are
he's smarter
most
than me,
species
that's
of
for
animal.
sure.
They're very intelligent to be able to survive in the wild the way they do. It's
Yeah, I
just
wonder how
that pesky
parrots get
man.
along with cats. Meow.
Well, cats are okay. I like cats too. Of course, I have dogs, and they like cats as well, breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
You eat dog for dinner?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
I share my dinner with my dog, of course.
There you go. Who doesn't, right? Unless you're some stingy old codger or something. All right, well, hey, for our alien category tonight, aliens and extraterrestrials, we have a hat tip to Truth or Bot Red. They are kind of a clandestine, covert sort of. I think they retweet a lot of hacker stuff, and they dig up cool stories and other stuff, like kind of like the WikiLeaks people and all that good stuff. So, anyways, they posted out this story that they found today from About.com. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to quote the story itself. Basically, this is the what am I doing here? Am I losing my mind or what? You know what? I got one step ahead of myself. My apologies. This story today is our space and UFO category. It's actually our UFO category. I'm so eager to get Jeff on the show. I'm just like rushing through this stuff too fast. All right. So from China's Xinhua News, Xinhua, their news bureau posted this tweet today about Capilla del Monte is Argentina's capital of alien life. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, well, whatever.
How does it get that distinction, I wonder?
You have to go read the story.
Yeah, I will. Trust me, I want to go and look into that one.
Hey, you know what? As a coincidence, I happen to be posting the very story for that up at the daily specials. Yeah.
That's where I'd look. Yep.
That's where I'd look. By the way, I just want to encourage people, if you haven't gotten into the chat room, get over to our cat room. There you go, our cat room. Because tonight we might have the graphics cat hanging out in there as well, besides Jeff and myself. So make sure you go in. You don't have to register. You don't have to give your ID or anything. You can be anybody you want.
That's right. Just leave $10 at the door, eh?
Hey, you know what? While you're there, you can actually donate $10. That'd be very kind of you. Mucho appreciated. All right, so for our aliens and extraterrestrials category today, as I was saying before when I got all discombobulated, thanks to Truth or Bot Red for retweeting the story from About.com. And they basically say, since 1947, the year of the famous Roswell crash, there have been a number of rumors that the U.S. government has stored debris and artifacts from crash. Boy, that's a grammar mistake right there. It should be crashed. But they have crash flying saucers. I don't think there's a such thing. It would have to be a crashed. C-R-A-S-H-E-D. All right, anyways, moving along. Grammar error aside, flying saucers and even bodies of the small alien crew members of the downed spaceships. Well, much of the evidence of this crash retrievals lead us to Dayton, Ohio, and Wright-Patterson's Hangar 18. Ooh, 18. Not 17, not 19, but Hangar 18.
Actually, to clear that up, there is no Hangar 18. It's actually
built 18. All right, pipe down there, Mr. Mufon. I'll let you talk later. How much of the legend surrounding the famous Wright-Patterson facility is true? Are there still alien beings, even possibly live beings from other worlds at the infamous base in Dayton, Ohio?
In the Blue Room?
Well, originally called Wilbur Wright Field, the government installation was first opened in 1917 to train military personnel during the First World War. And as Jeff was splurting in and ruining my build-up and my crescendo there. I was going to say that Jeff is going to be talking a lot about what really is going on with the secret space program and where a lot of the stuff is really being stored. But because he has such a big blabbermouth, he ruined it.
It's not
bad,
there.
Jeff. Bad.
There anyway. Sorry.
Hey, how many shows can you watch where the host berates the guests like I do? And the guests actually appreciate it.
Well, let's see.
Jeff?
There's Jerry Springer, Judge Judy. I
don't know if Judge Judy. I don't know if those are guests, are they? But hey, if I can get as famous and as rich as Judge Judy for doing that, that's pretty good. What do I have to do? I have to say like, "Shut up." Is that how she does it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. I need a gavel. I don't have a gavel. I just have a
That would
fist. You got a very noisy parrot there, mister.
I think it must be on your end.
No, I have no noisy parrots here at all.
Okay. Yeah.
But what I do have is I have a sponsor. Well, not a real sponsor. I have, well, from our not a real sponsor category, actually. I have Your Old Bicycle. Ah, yes. Your Old Bicycle returns years of nostalgia to you from your over-embellished childhood. Distant are those horrible memories as a boy of cracking the nuts. And how about those many times the chain fell off, causing you to crash into a ditch or wall or run over your nasty neighbor's cat? Meow. Oh, psst. I'm sure Graphics Cat loved that one. Anyways, we love you, by the way, Graphics Cat. Ah, yes, fond memories. Only a child who was abused because he or she was told by their parents to ride to school in the rain, in the fog, while it was sleeting and snowing and all that good stuff. And they were told it helps to build your character. Ah, yes, Your Old Bicycle. A new proud sponsor of the Cosmic Cafe show. And I just feel extra special to have them as a sponsor. Just brings
Mr.
back
and
so many
Mrs.
good
Brown,
memories.
see what you created, making Eric ride to school like that through those conditions.
Exactly. Pay attention, parents, if you don't want this to happen to your child. All right, so for our abduction experiencer category tonight, thanks to Finding UFO, yes, that is their Twitter handle, for posting this interesting story about 3, not 2, not uno. I almost flipped off the camera. But 3
Standards and practices.
teenagers who were abducted in New Jersey. No word if it was near the shore and if Snooky was one of the 3. Is that 3? Wait. Sorry. I went to public education. Is that 3? All right, it's close enough.
Obviously, you're using Common Core math.
I think Common Core, I think, is 5, isn't it? You start with 5 and you carry 1 and you leave 1 and I don't know, something like that. Okay.
You just flipped me off, Eric.
No, I didn't flip you off. I flipped Michelle off because she's not watching live right now because she's not in the chat room. Because if she was in the chat room, she would definitely be...
When she sees this in the archive, she'll, of course, love you even more.
Yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of love, sexy. Thanks to our good friends over at Bacon with Bigfoot for posting this really awesome and sexy and beautiful big furry fella today. Look at that. Yes. Actually, what made it even more special, you got to go see their tweet because it's an animated GIF and it's quite special indeed.
I think he's been using some kind of hair product.
Well, you want to see it again, Jeff? There you go.
I'm good.
No, you want to see it? Is that what you said?
No, really, I'm good.
Move on.
I'm good.
This one is my favorite story though for tonight. It should have been the top story, but Scott Kelly, Trump's a dead mummy. But hey, I'd take a live human being
That's pretty
astronaut
gnarly.
over a dead mummy anytime. But hey, this is pretty awesome. Anyways, thanks to America's Most Haunted for posting this awesome picture and story about the discovery of a mummified captain of a ship found on a ghost ship floating near the Philippines. Sad thing is the captain declined all interviews.
Looks like he declined
All right,
attempts
maybe
at
he wasn't a little shy.
resuscitation
Maybe
as
he's
well.
just dead. But anyways, just kidding. But there is a full article. There's tons of gory and spooky details and all kinds of interesting stuff. So you definitely want to go check that out. And I will give you the hint, because you're probably wondering, when did his ship go? 2009. Yes, 2009.
And my friend Cassidy
this
Nicholas at
ship
MUFON
was floating around on the ocean since 2009 and just now turned up, and the guy's all mummified and stuff. I mean, that's an uber cool story, and you're going to get to watch it or read it as long as you get my daily specials recap, and that is going to be in your email box either later tonight or tomorrow morning for you. And the way you get those free emails right now, I might start charging for them just to get people over there. But the way you get the emails is you just go to CosmicCafeShow.com. Over on the left-hand column, just put in your email address. Now it's a double verify to help cut down spam and all that. So it'll send you a verification email first, so you got to click on the little verify link. But once you verified, you're in, and you'll get the daily specials for free in your email box later after the show or in the morning the next day. So with that, let's just cruise on over to Jeff. Hey Jeff, how are you, buddy?
I'm well, Eric. Thanks.
Good.
Glad to be back on again tonight.
Glad to have you back on, by the way. Whew. Hopefully everybody can hear you A-okay. I haven't seen any of your friends in the chat room or anything. So, don't know how the audio... hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully the audio's good.
Yeah.
You can talk anytime.
I'm sure they'll be in there sooner or later. And if not, well, they can catch it in the archive room. We'll have a great show anyway, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure you're going to have plenty of questions as we get going, so...
Not really.
I answered all the other night.
Dude, I was just going to kick back and...
Oh,
you just go ahead and do the show.
Can we put the shock collar back on you so I can push the button every now and then here and wake you up,
Let me try this bottle of vitamins.
Yeah. I can
that
see
looks
this.
Like a moment for...
The show's going downhill quickly, isn't it?
Absolutely. Start paddling. You got to start getting this thing going.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so let's get over to your slides. And we got your slide up there.
Now, a lot of people think that the NSA really didn't investigate UFOs. And if you take their public statements at face value, you'll be convinced that they're really not that interested. But Freedom of Information Act after Freedom of Information Act request, one after the other, has revealed many piles and mountains of information regarding cases that the NSA has intimate knowledge of and has investigated deeply. And it's funny because on October 21st, they approved for release a portion of an NSA journal which had to do with signals that were received by the Sputnik satellite way back in prehistory. Well, not quite that far back, but in 1959 when Sputnik went up in space and started the space race, there were messages that were actually received on it. And this talks about those messages, and the NSA published a paper with the journal that has the key to the messages in many pages, and then the message, which takes up only one page. And it's really quite fascinating, but I think it's pretty funny that they approved this release in October of 2004, yet it actually wasn't available to the public until April 21st of 2011. So even though it seems like they're being transparent and letting little bits of information free to the public, you still have to fight tooth and nail to get anything out of them. Otherwise, all you get is redacted papers and denials. So the moral of the story there, keep trying, write your Freedom of Information Act requests, and you will, over time, get truth out of them and get the information that you're seeking. But you got to be persistent. Now, one of the places that I find very interesting, that I think what I like to call, and others have called, Richard Dolan dubbed it the secret space program. That's his term that he came up with for it. And also Joseph Farrell talks about that quite a bit. And I learned a lot from both of them when I attended the Secret Space Program conference in San Mateo a couple years ago. But in many reports that I've found over the years, it seems that the Secret Space Program had to have had a base. And one of the places that I believe is the main base for that has been Vandenberg Air Force Base right here in California, not far from me. And if you want to go ahead and hit the next slide real quick, this is a picture of the front gate there. And as you can see, there's 4 very distinctive different emblems of units that are based there. The one on the far right says Air Force Space Command. And gosh, look at that wonderful triangle there, huh? But if you look at all these on the far right.
That's the one on the far right?
Yeah. And I actually, I can find another picture of that for you real quick here. Let me see.
That's okay. I highlighted it there.
Did you? Okay.
Yep.
So,
trust me, I did.
I got you. If you look at the emblem all the way on the left, it also appears to have some very large triangular shapes. And obviously, judging by the red line leaving them, they're on some kind of a flight path there. And you look over here at the 2 more emblems over to the right, the one next to the first emblem I showed you. More triangles in orbit around the Earth. What is it that they could be trying to tell us with all these emblems about triangles going into space? Are you aware of any triangular craft we have that goes up there into space? No? Well, wait a minute. I guess I am aware of some. Let's go to the next slide.
Hang on a second.
Up.
Uno momento, por favor. There we go.
Right off the bat, here's something that is vaguely triangular. Of course, it's not in service anymore. But here's a photo from October of 1986, Vandenberg Air Force Base and the Space Shuttle Enterprise in launch configuration. It's a little known fact that this slick right here, known as Slick 6, was built exclusively for the Space Shuttle originally at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Of course, it's since been converted to launch all kinds of heavy space vehicles. But at the time, they decided that they didn't want to launch the shuttle from here because of prohibitive costs. I can't imagine what those prohibitive costs might be, being as how they already had that in place, and it looks like the shuttle was there at one time. So it can't be that much more expensive to actually launch the darn thing after you've gone to all that trouble. So would they spend that much money and build a complex and not use it? I have to say, not likely. As you can see by the mountains behind Slick 6 there, this is a very shielded part of the base. It's not visible anywhere on the Central Coast. I myself live in San Luis Obispo, and I've witnessed many launches from there and Point Mugu quite easily. But from the vantage point here that the public has, you can't tell what is going up. All you can see is the trail of something launching up. If you have very, very good binoculars, you might see a little more than most people. But you'd have to know when the launch is happening, and it would have to be at daytime. Most of the launches they do there are at night, and very spectacular to watch, but very hard to quantify what it was that went up. Let's go ahead and hit the next slide.
Real quick, Jeff, I just wanted to let you know that I got confirmation from Michelle with graphicscat.com, our friends over at GraphicsCat. She is actually able to verify that your audio is coming through loud and clear, and she is actually in the chat room too. So
hi, Michelle. Thanks for coming back and joining us tonight.
Yeah, so she's accessing us via her mobile device, actually, which is really cool.
That's super cool. Glad to hear it.
It's super cool that she can be watching us on her. I believe she has an iPhone,
nice.
And so that's pretty awesome. And she just texted me. That's why I was a little distracted there. But so everybody out there, if you want to get on, you want to talk to Jeff about the Secret Space Program, you have your questions, go ahead and jump in there. You can also ask Michelle to ask Michelle questions if we're not that interesting. She can tell you about her business, her graphics business. Anyways, but thank you so much, Michelle, for that. I definitely love you. Blow you a nice big kiss for that. Give you a big hug next time I see you. And thank you for verifying that Jeff's audio is coming through nice and clear. So
yes,
again, if you want to get into the chat and watch the video at the same time, ccs.chat, and you can get over there and join in the fun. And I keep scribbling on the screen, but let me clear off the scribbles on the screen and change.
Did your mother have to wash the walls at home a lot when you were younger?
No.
Oh, okay. You didn't crayon all over the walls? Okay, gotcha. So this is from the website there, and again, you can see the United States Air Force Space Wing emblem. That's the 30th Space Wing, which is one of the other emblems that was on that wall there at the front of Vandenberg. And what is the mission there? Well, let's see. To provide our nation unique capabilities for assured access to and from space. Let's analyze that paragraph there. What could that mean? Well, unique capabilities. That's pretty straightforward. We want to have something that no one else does. And why do we want it? Well, we want to make darn sure that we can go into space, come and go as we please without anyone saying otherwise. Now, those are some pretty steep requirements this day and age, I would say. So, what's their vision? The world's most innovative space launch and landing team. Well, that's nice to know. Of course, we were hoping NASA would do that, but apparently there's another program that has that precedence. And they appear to be, well, just as much government connected, if not more, than NASA is. Where's their money coming from? Well, could it be black budget? Not likely, no. Maybe something called special unacknowledged access programs. That could be where the funding comes from. Acknowledged special access programs is the most likely venue. And funding for places like that is even darker than black ops, even darker than acknowledged black budget. And really, to get in depth and figure out the funding for something like that, you'd need to go to something like Solari.com and find out some of the information there. They can totally walk you through how the financing for the breakaway civilization and secret space program came to be, just by following the trail of bonds that have disappeared over the years, billions and trillions of dollars of bonds. And it's really quite fascinating. You could spend, many shows discussing that topic, but you got to figure the money for these types of programs has to come somewhere, and it's not acknowledged in black programs. It's not acknowledged through Congress. So you know that the huge quantities of monies for secret programs like this has to come from somewhere like an unacknowledged special access program. That's the only place it could possibly come from. So go ahead and hit the next slide here. We're bogging down a little. I'm talking way more than I did last week. This is another one of the things I think that looks pretty far in the future. And you can find any of these different aircraft very easily if you just spend the time to look through on the internet for different aircraft the Air Force might have in its arsenal. This is one known as the X-24B. I tell you, it looks just like something really out of Star Wars or Buck Rogers, the old Buck Rogers TV series. And when you think about its flight characteristics and what it's capable of doing, well, it's come a long way from flight school we had back when those type shows were on, and it really does resemble something that can go into space and possibly outside the atmosphere. And I think that could very well be something that has multi-purposes, not just in atmospheric flight, but also in space flight. Go ahead and hit the next slide.
Okay, there we go. Oh, sorry. Hang on a second. I gotta disable the one thing to do the other thing. There we go.
Okay, so we had lots of Air Force laboratories that were doing work before, but of course in the downsizing of the 90s and the new millennium and everything, to save costs, places were combined and consolidated. So what we have were a lot of mergers of technologies and put together in key locations, and I think it's very telling where some of these places ended up. You look at the weapons laboratory, geophysics laboratory, and the astronautics laboratory, especially considering that it was at Edwards Air Force Base, which I've written a few articles about weird sightings and things that have gone there as well. But those are all combined into a place called Phillips Laboratory. What I find really more telling than anything is the avionics, electronics, flight dynamics, material laboratory, and the aerial propulsion and armament all combined into one place. Wright Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Why is this so significant? Well, because anyone that knows anything about Project Blue Book knows that it was the Air Force's public relations screen for UFO reports. It was how they were able to put on a public face that, yes, we are investigating this and we're taking it seriously. Yet, whenever a really good case came in, it didn't go to Project Blue Book. It went to AFOSI, the Air Force Office of Strategic Intelligence. And they're the ones that investigated any of the really good sightings. Now, where are they based out of? Well, guess what? Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which is also where, as you mentioned earlier in your Space and Aliens segment, a lot of the rumors are of crash disks and alien bodies being stored. So, is it a coincidence? Maybe, but I tend to think not. I tend to think that they planned on putting all these things right there all along, and they've been doing that work there anyway for years. So it's no big surprise to me that they consolidated the laboratories into this formation here.
You know what really startles me by your chart there is all the locations in Ohio for the Wright Laboratory, except for one glaring exception. Florida, which is not anywhere close to Ohio, and Florida happens to be an armament laboratory. It's like, wait a second.
Very interesting.
Why would you consolidate an armament laboratory with a bunch of other labs that are in Ohio? Now, I could see if it was in Ohio, it would kind of make sense because, they're all neighbors, so consolidate them. But dang,
but
that's a weird one.
How many times do you see anything leaving Ohio there? It's surrounded base. There's plenty of civilian population there. So you sure don't want anything that goes boom or any serious type weaponry, any revolutionary weaponry. You don't want to be testing or using anywhere near a civilian population. So, of course,
I thought you're supposed to.
Yeah, no. Actually, out in Florida makes perfect sense because there's a lot of area there to do a lot of testing or you wouldn't be seen. And if something went wrong, well, you're going to maybe blow up some of the wetlands, but probably not, hopefully, too many people. So it makes perfect sense that they would have the armaments down there in a less populated area.
Just wanted to also let you know that one of my friends, also Thaddeus, is watching. So he's one of my friends that I hang out at one of my favorite watering holes.
Excellent.
So him and Michelle are watching together. So say
cool.
Hi to Thaddeus.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Thaddeus.
Yes. So it's a lot of fun tonight, even though we got a late start. So are we ready for the next slide?
Yeah, hit it, CB.
All right, there we go.
So here's some more representations of the unit patches too, and different laboratories represented there through the Space Command. And as you can see, just about every one of these insignia shows some kind of a triangle. Now, we look at cave art and pictographs and petroglyphs from ancient civilizations, and we take the shapes that they carved to be pretty literally the things that meant a lot to them, that they wanted to impress on the people later in history. So when we have emblems like this, I assume the same thing, that they want these images to go forward and be remembered by people in posterity as things that were important to us. And gosh darn, that triangle shape sure keeps popping up a lot. And especially you look at the patch there on the right, curiously enough, the Office of Scientific Research. And, doesn't that look just a whole lot like the TR3B? I hate to say it, but that just represents it so much, I think. The other triangles, perfect.
You're talking about the one I just circled, I hope.
Yeah. That to me looks just like the TR3B. And you look at the others, and hey, gosh, they resemble the hypersaur, do they not?
Some of them definitely.
I think they do quite a bit.
Keep talking, I'm just drawing.
I know. I'm just trying to look at something here. I want to get a little quick reference on something. I think you have a video to go ahead and play real quick since we're talking about the TR3B.
All right. Before I jump to the video, just want to quickly remind anybody that's watching live right now, it is just 6 minutes after 7 p.m. Pacific here in California. And we have Jeff Krause, who's the state director for MUFON, Mutual UFO Network. And for some reason, his Skype kind of pooped out. Let's try and get it reset. There we go. But anyways, if you want to join in or if you have some questions, boy, Jeff, your Skype is popping in and out. There we go. Stick around. You keep leaving me. Don't do that.
It's aliens. There we go. It's not me, man. See, look, no hands.
No. All right, I'm just going to disable your Skype and then...
How's that?
Well, anyways, while he's doing that, I just wanted to give Jeff... There we go. He's back. I wanted to just let the folks know that they can join in on the chat. So if you're watching this on YouTube, the live channel on YouTube right now, you're more than welcome to join in the chat. We're not monitoring the chat room in YouTube, but we are monitoring our own chat room, and you can go there and chat away if you'd like. And that is ccs.chat. There's no registration, no confidential information, no nothing yet you have to give. It just assigns you a random name, and then you just go from there. If you want to use your own name, you're welcome to change your name profile, but you don't have to. So if you have any questions for Jeff about the Secret Space Program, about MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, please go ahead and join in on the fun, because it is live right now. If you're catching us on a replay, well, we'll give you Jeff's contact information. You can always pop him an email later. But just wanted to make sure I brought that up. And again, thank you to my good friends. Michelle's my good friend, Thaddeus. No, just kidding, Thaddeus. I know, even though Thaddeus has you have to understand Thaddeus' humor. He has a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor. So I'm sure he's getting a good laugh out of that. But
absolutely.
Oh my, let's see here. Somebody wrote all over our board. So you want me to pop up the video, don't you?
Well, yeah, just to show people that the government is obviously aware of things going on in space. Here's my friend Richard Dolan. Actually, it's the other video.
Hang on a second. I'm resetting it right now. For some reason, it didn't reset properly. But we'll do it right now.
There we go. This is my friend Richard Dolan at the Secret Space Conference in San Mateo in 2014 talking about STS-114 video.
I'll turn down his volume so we can hear it better.
Actually, turn him up and let him talk because it's pretty short.
This is sped up a bit from the original, just so it doesn't take you forever to watch.
I should add, as Richard's saying, this video was slowed down considerably so you can see the object clearly in real time, but you can find this video easily on the internet. In real time, the object is just booking it to one end and then changing course back. A very impressive video.
Okay,
here we go.
Hang on a second. Let's go back. You wanted to go back to the... There we go. Oh, there we go. Wait for the next video later. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. For some reason, my slide's not advancing. Keep talking.
Okay. Well, the next picture we have up would be of the TR-3B.
Well, as soon as I get you to stop blinking... I don't know why it's not advancing. It should advance.
I agree. It's aliens and the NSA.
It's being a bad presentation. Bad. Oh, I know why.
You shut your keyboard off?
It was operator error.
Oh,
it was this idiot's fault. All right.
So here we have what's commonly known as the TR-3B. Oddly enough, this craft used to have online verification through one of the Federation of American Scientists websites. They had lots of information up. And they had a whole category of experimental aircraft, X-planes, and secret covert aircraft up, unacknowledged programs. You could find information on a lot of secret aircraft there, things that weren't publicly readily available elsewhere. And all of a sudden, this information disappeared off their website completely. You could still find information on the TR-3B out there, but it's as if someone is trying to cover up its existence and has told people to be quiet about it. I find this very compelling. If anything, it lends more credence to its existence rather than making me think it was non-existential. Go ahead and hit the next slide.
Are you saying that this is a man-made device and they actually had the schematics and drawings and stuff like that up on the website, but then they suppressed
Well, they didn't have the schematics, but they had a lot of its specifications, a lot of its, what it could do, its propulsion systems. A lot of the information about it that you wouldn't think would be readily available was actually up on the Federation of American Scientists website for a long time. And of course, MUFON referred to the TR-3B on our website. We had videos of it up there. A lot of people talked about it, and then all of a sudden, it's like there was a effort to either confuse the public or just plain obfuscate the truth of the facts that this was something that the American military has been using for a while.
I see. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
These are some pictures taken in Paris. Richard Dolan showed some footage of this during his presentation, which was very compelling. As you can see, the center light on the triangle appears to be where the drive unit is based. And when I saw this craft go into hyperspace, it did it in stages. First, that center part became a bubble, which you can see in the second picture there. Then it became more like a sun, and you couldn't see any of the other parts of the craft. And after it went to that phase of the shift, it just all of a sudden zoomed off, and it was gone. You couldn't really define how fast because it was beyond capability of human sight to see it. So I believe that it was the power-up stages was what we were seeing for its hyperspace jump. I think it is able to bend or warp the fabric of space-time in some way to where it can move to different locations without busting its way through air resistance and typical flight patterns like airplanes take. I think this uses complete alien technology, something that was recovered in the past perhaps from one of the crashes.
Wow. Ready for the next one?
Absolutely. This just is a better close-up of that second phase of whatever power source it is. And again, this is speculation. I can't tell you with any certainty exactly what that is powering it. All I can say is that it appears to be a type of field, and that it appears to have effects over the space-time continuum. That's all I can tell you for sure.
Wow. That is such a cool looking. I would love to see that with my own eyes. That looks so
absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely. And this was witnessed by many people over Paris when this craft did this, and there's actually video footage of it that you can find.
Are there multiple sources of video footage and photos of this event?
I believe so. This is a fairly famous incident from Paris a few years ago, and I believe that you could. 2 years
ago?
No, a few years ago. I said I can't recall exactly the date, but I think you can find many instances of this footage available with just minimal searching of the TR3B.
Okay, I understood. Well, let's go to this bad boy.
I think actually the next, the other video of the TR3B is what you want to play right now.
The video. Fine. No, fine. Spoil sport.
Yeah, you know how I am. Yeah, because this is
I know how you video. Are.
I know. This is some awesome video here, I think, and it shows some of the flight characteristics of the TR3B. And no, that's not it. TR3B is right there, and it's actually not one craft, but two. I believe this
what's the other object?
Of it. I believe that's a spotter plane.
Oh, okay.
Which I think lends credence to this being something in our Air Force arsenal, because obviously there's another plane flying around in formation with these craft, as they do what can only be interpreted as amazing maneuvers. Flying together the way they did at that distance and then separating like that. I don't know of any other aircraft that is capable of performing in that fashion. And certainly these move in quite a fascinating manner, unlike any aircraft that you'll see in the sky other than these.
Pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
It's amazing they can. I mean, you would think that they would only be able to do the hyper jump, using the alien technology, but not be able to fly so well in just our regular standard.
Well, from what I understand, they have a couple different propulsion systems. They use advanced anti-gravity type propulsion system, and then they use the hyperspace jump as well, which they're two different types of technologies. Speaking of hyperspace jumps, isn't that beautiful? I just love that picture every time I see it.
I'm going to put that up in... Nobody wants to look at us up. We'll just put it in front of us.
Let's look at the hypersoar over Hawaii.
Yeah. Nice.
This is something developed by Lawrence Livermore Laboratories and a gentleman named Preston Carter, who is the actual inventor of it. It's called the hypersoar. And it uses a technology that's quite advanced for making it to any point on the Earth in less than 2 hours.
In less than 2 hours?
Less than 2 hours.
Wow. That's amazing.
Hypersonic travel, or hypersonic technology vehicle, an HTV.
Anybody that's traveled international flights for anywhere from 10 to 20 hours would just love to have something like this. Whoops. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's quite all right. Go ahead and go to that. This is some other views of it, which I think it's just a really beautiful aesthetic looking design. Obviously, and really cool. In fact, the one top left photo kind of reminds me of a gray whale, really.
You said it, not me.
Yeah,
if it gets mad at you.
I think it does, but go ahead and show the next slide. This is the inventor, Preston Carter. And I've actually sent a couple of emails with him because I was really curious about the hypersoar and wanted to know about any development of it. And I'd like to share a little bit of the information I got from Mr. Carter about this. I'm going to read part of his response in the first email. He says, "Hi, Jeff. Not much to report on hypersoar. It became a program at DARPA TTO in about 2001 or 2. I helped establish the program, but had other responsibilities and priorities that took me elsewhere. The USAF and DARPA lost their way on the concept and used the money for various pet projects like Falcon, SpaceX, and a few others. They eventually renamed the program, which had become an accumulation of projects funded by the Hypersaur program, Falcon. I know Lockheed worked on the true Hypersaur concept for several years and were able to confirm many of the concept's attributes I originally proposed. That is, periodic hypersonic cruise. Trajectories provide superior range and speed performance while reducing propulsion and thermal challenges. I've continued to work on refinements and extensions of Hypersaur. However, hardware has been limited to engines for ground testing and vehicle wind tunnel models. No flight prototypes have been made that I know of. Okay, well, I wasn't convinced, so I sent a video to Mr. Carter to look at, because at MUFON we get many reports of aircraft, which some people say is Aurora, and some people say is, other type aircraft that they have no idea what it could be, or perhaps even something like the Hypersaur. There's something going on that, we should know about, because it's obviously something of higher technology than most people are aware of. So I sent him one of the videos, which you're going to see later tonight, and asked him for his opinion of it. And you know what? Maybe I'll wait until after we play that video, and we'll come back to this, and I'll read what he has to say about it after we look at it, okay?
Is that the next video up here?
No, but let's go ahead and play this one so that people have an idea about this. And I'll shut up so you can hear the soundtrack.
During the early stage of the flight test, a chase plane follows until speeds of around Mach 1. Powered by its turbojets, the demonstrator starts to pull away as it begins the first phase of the flight test, reaching Mach 2. Transitioning to the next phase of the flight test, the turbojets combine with added boost of ramjets. This provides the speed increase where the HTV-3X will then drop the turbojet propulsion and transition to the final phase, the powerful scramjets, enabling the demonstrator to reach speeds in excess of Mach 6. With the critical phases of this flight complete and flight test data recorded, it is time for a safe return home. Slowing down, the vehicle transitions back to its turbojets. HTV-3X begins its final approach to
a couple interesting facts that I gleaned from watching this. One, it's a remote piloted drone vehicle, and another has two types of propulsion systems on it.
Engine technology for a next generation, high-speed global reach system.
Cool.
Isn't that sleek looking?
I think we have this last video here. This is the one you wanted us to show.
Right. And pay attention to that trail there.
I can see where someone would easily confuse that with being a UFO.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Flight characteristics of something that you don't see every day. And what does UFO mean? Unknown flying object. So,
or unidentified flying object.
I know what that is. Yeah, unidentified flying object. Absolutely. Now, this is the DARPA Falcon project, which again looks very similar to the Hypersaur. And again, it's a hypersonic vehicle. This is the HTV-2. Pretty much the same thing as the Hypersaur, just different version of it, built by a different company probably. This could be the Lockheed version or a Boeing version, or it could be a DARPA version. Well, one never knows. Go ahead and hit the next slide real quick.
Okay.
I like this version of it here because you can see this distinct triangular shape again that we saw in all those emblems earlier, with the triangles flying around the Earth.
Yeah.
And what was it that they were trying to portray again? Well, I believe it's something quite similar to this.
Kind of looks like a Native American Indian arrowhead.
It does. It reminds me quite a bit of an arrowhead. Very sleek in design, very lethal looking.
Do you think the Native Americans were actually possibly contacted by aliens and they saw that design and they kind of mimicked it and figured, hey, this also works good for killing big game and stuff?
Well, one never knows how they got that idea. I tend to go with the old school of thought of trial and error, but that's as good a likely as ever. But speaking of coming up with weapons after you have high technology like that,
Did you like my transition on that?
I loved your transition on that.
I'm going to pat myself on the back.
What on earth is this puppy? Well, this is a U.S. Jazzler style weapon. It's a phaser rifle. Yes, they do exist.
I think we have a bigger picture too, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
This is a laser weapon. And
wait, a laser weapon?
Yep. And this is real. This is in existence. We've used it in combat situations a few times already. It's good not only for taking out electronics and rockets and missiles and things like that, but I'm pretty sure it would do a number on any human combatants in its range. Yeah, it's definitely a formidable weapon.
It looks formidable.
Yeah. And what was it you said last week? It was something that you definitely want in your Halo arsenal?
I think you said that, but...
Oh, okay. I knew one of us did.
I know one thing. I definitely wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of that thing.
Yeah, you want to be the guy holding it, not the guy it's pointed at. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what kind of technology would we use that for? Maybe non-terrestrial forces, such as Gary McKinnon found evidence of. Things like that, you know. Is there a secret space program? Undoubtedly. Would they need higher technology for things like that? Undoubtedly again. So this is just a few small pieces that I've provided this evening. Just a wee bit of evidence that there is a secret space program in existence. It's something that you can go much deeper into and find a lot more information about if you're interested in the subject. I can recommend some awesome authors who have plenty of evidence about it. Richard Dolan, Joseph P. Farrell, or just to name a few. Mike Barra has plenty of evidence that there's something else going on the moon and Mars and perhaps our involvement in it. So, you know, anyone that's interested and would like to follow up on this subject, this is just a primer to get you started, and I hope you are able to dig out any information and release it just as I did. It doesn't take a very deep search to find new pieces all the time.
If people also go to your website on Facebook, that way they can get your different posts and get in touch with you. And
absolutely.
Is it the easiest just to go on Facebook and then search Jeff Krause, or what's the best way? That's
probably the easiest way to find it. Of course, well, the easiest way to find it is you have a link on your Cosmic Cafe Show website.
Thank you, sir.
Best for people to do it.
Absolutely. That'll be in the daily specials recap also of tonight's show.
You betcha.
Absolutely. Yeah, you betcha.
Yep, we're going to go Wisconsin on you.
Yeah, why not? Okay, well, that pretty much does it for tonight, huh?
I guess so. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't show the other triangle yet. I need to show this off because I picked this up from a wonderful Russian couple. And this is a badge that cosmonauts would get issued. Certain cosmonauts.
Tell you what, hold that there. Don't move. There we go. We got you full screen. They can see that really nice now.
Now, behind the rocket, I see one triangle with the point down towards the ground. But coming out of it, there's two more triangles with obvious flight patterns behind them. So you see, even the Russians have very similar logos with their space program, with triangular objects shooting off into space at what appears to be rapid motion. Because, that's what I get out of the picture with the line behind it, is it's something shooting off.
Yeah.
What else would they be trying to imply? The triangular shape is in a rocket shape. It's not a tube. It's not long and thin. It's like this.
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to send us subliminal messages, trying to prepare us for the truth and the reality. Well, there is much more out there than what we're thinking.
I'm sure the concept came from elsewhere. We're a very smart species. We can backward engineer anything. Okay.
And we have one of the most popular running TV cartoon shows called The Simpsons.
That right there should get us in the galactic neighborhood and get us out of quarantine, I feel. But
I totally agree.
As long as we're still
I love The
shooting
Simpsons.
each other up, as long as our major global pastime is war and blowing people up instead of feeding and educating and housing, we're going to be in quarantine, I feel. And we're not ready for the rest of the galactic neighborhood for a very good reason, because we have a bully mentality. And there is a slow awakening going on, but all you have to do is look at the running for the election now and say the Republican debates, and
let's not get too political.
I'm not going to get political at all. I just say there's an example of how we deal with situations as a human species that needs improvement. Every 4 years, it's reminded just how far we've advanced from the primate stage, and it's not very far.
Yeah, we wear clothes now, and we shave.
You see, now, I think in a way we've gone backwards. Thank you for proving my point.
I was thinking we went forward.
Clothes and having to shave.
We use hair gel.
Either one.
Apes don't use hair gel.
Product would probably be kind of lost on me. Just saying.
Hey, is that what Monty did?
No. He's
my parrot used to like to go up on my head, and he'd pull on my hair.
Well, every now and then he lands there when he flies, because I guess it looks like the flattest place to land, but he doesn't
pull his shining beacon.
Yeah, that's it. You can see it in the dark.
Well, Jeff, let's give people a reason to check out what you're going to do next time, because what do you have in store for coming up the next time you're on the show? Next time you're back at the cafe.
There's a couple things I'm working on. Of course, I'm working on a piece I like to call the 3 most important UFO cases in history. But more importantly, one of those cases, the anniversary of, is coming up, and that's the Phoenix Lights incident. Ooh. And so possibly I might have a little surprise prepared for everyone, and we might go into a little bit of what I know about the Phoenix Lights incident. And I know that Dr. Lynn Kitai would very much appreciate any mention of the upcoming festival she's holding. So we'll do our best to prepare the public for the upcoming anniversary of that, perhaps.
Awesome. Well, with that, let me thank you very much for hanging out at the cafe tonight and sharing some details about the Secret Space program.
Absolutely.
Definitely, everybody can catch you out there at on Facebook and also on MUFON, and search for Jeff. You also write that periodical, which is in hiatus right now, but they'll be able to find a lot of them. The Field Investigators Toolbox.
Yep. It's getting ready to crank up. I've got a great issue planned to come back on for Volume 2. So it's going to be back in swing real soon now, and we've got a lot in store for the public here.
We'll definitely love to have you come back to the cafe for that debut as well. So thank you so much for that. And with that, let me go ahead and wrap up this show. I got to figure out where to go to wrap us up. But there we are. Hey, if you like the top of the show's paranormal news, and you wanted to find some of those stories, you can always find them on Twitter or Facebook by going to CCS Live is our hashtag that we use on Twitter, and sometimes on Facebook, but primarily on Twitter. All the ones from tonight are definitely Twitter. And then, of course, if you feel like helping out the cafe, sharing a little bit of love, we're always happy to accept a donation. It could be just a couple of ducats for a cup of coffee, or, $100 million. Whatever's rattling around in your pocket, that'd be awesome. And then, last but not least, all of our social media sites. Obviously, we hang out the most over at Twitter and Facebook, and of course, right here on YouTube, the YouTube live channel. And thank you very much for Michelle and Thaddeus, two dear friends of mine that have known for many years. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight and popping over the chat room a little bit and watching. So that means a lot to me. I appreciate that. And I know you guys have watched the archives before, but I'm glad you were able to get in on the live tonight. And again, thanks to Jeff Krause, and all his contact information, of course, will be in the Daily Specials Recap, which is free to your email box. Just go to the website, CosmicCafeShow.com, and over there on the left-hand column, put in your email address. That'll take care of it for you. Just put in your email. Just make sure you verify. It is a double verify system just to help eliminate spammers and all that good stuff. So please do that. And with all of that, I will see you tomorrow night. And incidentally, I do have Russ Emanuel, the award-winning Hollywood director. He is going to be here Thursday night, 6 p.m., along with Eric. I just drew a blank. Eric A. I don't want to mispronounce his last name, but his co-producer and everything with the Occupants movie. Eric is going to be there. He's also the one that you met if you watched the live broadcast from Tempe, Arizona. Eric was out there. We were launching the comic book. We're going to be talking about the Indiegogo campaign, the comic book campaign. So they're going to be here this coming Thursdays, and I may have a few other guests sneak in last minute, so make sure you stay tuned. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and with that, my friends, I will wish you a good night. See ya, tomato. Bye-bye.